What's going on YouTube? Okay, so Pro-Am players think they slick because you see this record at 9-14, right? Obviously, this was earlier, and the team we're going up against features like a lot of your favorite NBA players. You see Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, LeBron James at the end there, but nonetheless, this team shows a record at which you would think like they're possibly not that good. And then you go in to play some of these teams, and they strategies be fire. To the point like you playing and you like, no, like there's no way your record could be this bad. The only way your record could be this bad is if you're playing like top 100 competition every single time. So this is one of those type of teams that they're playing in the leagues, they're playing in the tournaments, they're going against the cream of the crop. It might not show in their actual record, but it is a thing where if you're playing, like if number one play number two all the time, eventually like their records would look close to even because you're so used to what everybody's going to do and you're just making small adjustments here and there. Basically what I'm saying is by the time this team has 30 games played and by the time we have 30 games played, our record is going to look better than theirs, but it doesn't necessarily mean we're a better team because I don't know who they played against. They're playing against tougher competition and they're just taking a loss against tougher competition, whereas we're playing like teams we're supposed to beat and we're beating them. I mean, it might look one way, but at the end of the day, you have to get on the court and prove it. And that's the one thing I do like. So, first thing I noticed off the back is this team's defense was legit. Like, everybody reacted well, they moved well. They was in a great flow defensively. Like, basically, the way I would tell my team to do it or the way I would coach it if it was me is how they look to me defensively. And the fact that they have pretty much all wings out there playing, like they got the point guard sitting in the corner, so he has a 99 3 ball, but he's sitting in the corner. He's not bringing the ball up the court. The shooting guard is probably about 6'8". Small forward is the lockdown. He probably 6'7", 6'8". Power forward is 6'10", 6'11". And the center was like LeBron. He was 6'8", 6'9", like 250, 260, somewhere around there. Like, they don't have a traditional lineup. And everybody's probably more so able to switch. And like I said, what they were doing defensively, I thought was really, really good. And I like when we go against teams like that because if they defend the way I would coach it, I always want to see if my offensive strategy is better than my defensive. And this is the best way to prove it, in my opinion. So, first quarter, fill-out quarter. See that their defense is really locked in. Offensively, this is where I'm trying to think of how I want to improve my actual skill set because the teams that we're going to go against, obviously, are more than likely are going to have a point guard who dribbles really well, that can throw up any shot and make it. I don't play that style of basketball, but I still have to be consistent in my approach, being able to score the basketball. So where I feel like I can improve at is developing a move or some type of, I don't want to say glitch move, but just something that can consistently create separation. I want to make it to where the lockdown has to guard me very tightly so I can take advantage of his aggressiveness. So if I can figure out times where I could possibly even shoot a 3 ball because he's sagging too much or figure out just a move to get into the mid-range and knock down a midi, I think that will go a long way in helping my team out in the long run once we finally start going against like the cream of the crop teams. Y'all kind of see how we fared. I showed 2 games in my last couple of videos against like a top 100 team. And although one game did not go the way we planned it, the other game, I thought we played very well. And that's one of those games where I'm saying if I could have consistently scored, you know, maybe that would have been a difference in the outcome. Here, the only thing I'm really looking at is how consistent can we stay even if something ain't going our way? Right? Like, so for me, specifically as the offensive player I am, I'm not able to create separation, so I'm looking at little things. Do we rotate? Do we kick the ball where we're supposed to? Is things functioning the way they want to? And for the most part, it is. We're doing good. We're keeping up with the score. Defensively, I feel like, I mean, there's only so much you can do because, sometimes you want to jump, sometimes you want to gamble. And depending on the level of opponent, it tells you whether you can or cannot. Like sometimes you can gamble and it will really destroy everything because you gamble and give up a three, or if somebody don't do something they're supposed to, at least a fast break. I know one of the biggest things for me is when we're shooting free throws and my team don't get back. It irks my nerves. Most of the time we give up a three in that situation. Hurts us every single time. And I swear teams never miss it. They never miss it. So this lockdown I was going up against, even though I'm scoring here and there, he's probably one of the smartest players I think I've gone up against, especially from a lockdown perspective. Like sometimes the lockdown is good just because the team defense is really good. And then other times I'm like literally I cannot move, I cannot get to where I want to go because the lockdown is playing really, really good defense. And the thing about playing the lockdown position is you're literally adjusting game to game to try to figure it out. Right? Because if most of the time you play against people that three hunt, naturally, every time you come to the game, that's the first thing you're going to defend is the three ball. Like the way I'm playing, I ain't even looked at a three ball. So it does take a little bit, probably takes about 2 quarters to adjust to the fact that, okay, this man is really not trying to shoot threes. And then you have to test what you want to do, because if you sag off too much, I'll shoot the three ball. But if you stay in the gap the way he kind of did as he started adjusting, as you see right now, like he's staying in the gap trying to figure out what I'm going to do, and then he started coming up with some very key stops that gave me a lot of trouble. And I'm still trying to adjust my game plan to figure out how to go at lockdowns that play it the way I would. And the thing is, he's not gambling. He's not sitting there reaching at me 20 million times. He's just trusting his teammates. His teammates are doing a great job of not helping, not giving up any wide open threes. And they're just living with the fact that I'm going to take two instead of possibly hitting a three-pointer. Smart strategy in my opinion. Of course, the second half, the biggest thing that I'm looking at is just, can we withstand a run? Because basketball is honestly a game of runs. There's no way around. Like basketball in itself is a game of getting hot, getting momentum, making plays, big plays here and there. Like nobody ever really wants to be in a nip and tuck ball game where it seems like the lead changes every 4 to 5 minutes. Eventually, somebody's going to overtake the other team. Somebody's going to score. Somebody's going to get on a nice run to pretty much put the game away. And sometimes you get locked into a game where you got to be able to withstand it. Sometimes that means you got to take shots that you're not comfortable with, and you have to be just ready to adjust even when it's not communicated. Sometimes you just got to go out there and make a play. Just got to make a play. And if you're lucky, you just live and die with the fact that, if you make a play and it work out, your team's going to praise you. If you try to make a play and it don't work out, and your teammate's going to let you know about it. You have to just be used to that. One place where I feel like my team can improve a little bit is like, a lot of times I'm sending people on these backdoor cuts. And I can see, like, if the pass is so late that you have no chance but to pull it back out, I understand it. But sometimes it can be a little bit late. And I feel like they still can try to go up and try to dunk the basketball. Or try to, like, you have to try to score in some of these situations just because it frees up stuff for everybody else. Right? One thing that hurts the strategy that we like to play is if I do send you on the backdoor cut, let's just say I send you against a point guard. And that point guard is consistently coming up with stops. Like no matter how you try to do it, like he's consistently coming up with stops against you, especially if you're like a big man. You're ruining the strategy so much because now nobody else has to help. They're not forced to rotate, help down, or do anything. Like that is literally IQ. There's not something I can like give you or something I can tell you. You just got to be good enough at the game to be able to make a play sometimes. Like it's two things. One, you got to be able to score, and two, if you don't score, you got to be able to get your own rebound. So every like little detail that you go over when you practice in the rec, and then you make videos and show everything to your teammates. Every little thing mentioned matters. And it does not matter in a game like this because this is just really freelance game, us trying to build up the record. Where it matters at is when we finally go up against a team we've been wanting to go against. Or let's just say we got in the league or a tournament or something like that. And we have to match up with one of the best teams in the league. Just one of the best or even the top team in the league. I know it's happened to me a few times throughout the years. I know one year we played against Above All, who was really good. And you match up against it, like you beating everybody else that you're supposed to be, and then you match up against a team that has all the skill in the world, possible people that are professionals at the shit, and you're just watching the game and nobody's doing all those little details. You know, times where you had a chance to beat a team by 20, you only beat them by 17 just because you wanted to fuck around at the end. That like in those big games, in those big moments, that's when it matters. Because you're so conditioned to make a certain type of play in certain moments that you're not necessarily able to adjust from what you're used to. All right, so if the game is a blowout and you taking bad shots, or let's just say you down big and you take bad shots, in some very critical moments, a lot of times you're going to take bad shots because you're conditioned to do so, right? Or even worse, you're going to pass up a shot that you knew you should have took in that moment because you wasn't ready. And it works both ways. Like you have to be able to adjust regardless. Like this game right here, these are probably like the worst type of games I hate to go up against. Because if you notice, everybody's pretty much at the top of their game. Like everybody's skilled, everybody's making plays, everybody's making shots, the scores going back and forth, left and right, left and right. Like it's like non-stop the whole time. And both the point guards are trying to dictate pace and tempo. Right? I'm trying to speed it up as much as possible because their defense is really, really good. And it seems to me like they are more patient and trying to slow the pace down, which is why like sometimes you see the lockdown press, other times you just see him back up. Like they're trying to get a feel for pace and tempo. And as you see, they patient. First time they came down, ran all the way through the paint. Next time they came down, they call them backdoor cuts. And you have to kind of be ready for all of this. Like those backdoor cuts are killers. Right? At a certain point, they start playing a little bit of zone. I'm able to take advantage of it. But like every time you get up 2 or 3 or 4, you have to be able to recognize what's going on. So right there, we get a big stop. And now I'm trying to dictate pace and tempo. But again, nobody's really being fooled. Like they kind of know what we're going to do. Everybody's staying home. They gave up twos the entire time throughout the stretch. And if we happen to make any mistake, it leads to a 3-ball. Right there, they ran a feed. They get a wide open 3-ball in the corner. And I'm still like, honestly, it's taking me a lot of time just adjusting to some of the stuff that people do because I don't understand as a team, as our team defense, why we react to some of the stuff that we react to. Right? Like, let me break it down for you. You just seen them come down, go all to the bucket and score. Then you just seen them come down, call out a corner cut, and the dude got a score. Then they come down the next one and run a fifi to where the corner and the wing rotate at the same time. And instead of the corner sitting home to defend a 3-point shot, because they just got beat on the backdoor cut, that's what they react to because they don't want to get beat again. And what happens is they're moving faster than somebody can react. So whereas a lot of times I tell people, like, especially on a fifi, why not just sit home in that corner? I never used to understand why it happened, but now looking at the film, I understand why it's happening. I just never understood why people react. Like, if you're moving faster than I can react, it's a pretty good chance I'm gonna be still. Right? It's a pretty good chance I'm gonna be still. There's nothing I can do other than like give myself time to actually react to something. As you can see, every time we kind of got up and I thought we had a chance to pull away from the game and get away from this team, they defense was amazing to me. Like, they stuck with it. They knew what they was willing to give up. They even switched to the person that was defending me, and I understood why they did it. It's not that the lockdown was doing a bad job or anything like that. He just understood, because he's a scorer, what I was trying to do as a scorer. And that was the one big adjustment that was made that, looking back at the game, I could have took advantage of it because I would have had more chances to shoot the ball if I was just paying attention. Like, every time he turned his hips, that's a chance to shoot the ball. I can't really do it the way I want to because that comes down to proper floor spacing and a whole bunch of other stuff that I ain't really trying to get into. But game recognizes game. I knew what he was trying to do. And you know what I was trying to do? At the end of the day, it was just going to come down to which team can make the most plays in the end. Obviously, playing a home game, I always feel like we had home court advantage. Trying to work on floor spacing a little bit, like, especially like in these type of games, like down the stretch, floor spacing is very critical. I feel like sometimes I'm passing the ball where people can take certain shots. Sometimes we take them, sometimes we don't. And literally, that's like the difference between winning and losing a game at the end of the day. So after we didn't lose, 2 games that y'all seen in our last video, I'm not necessarily trying to keep taking L's as we're trying to build up to this goal. I mean, the goal is a goal for a reason. That's where we want to get to. I think that the goal that I put out there is reasonable just due to the fact that people play. But at the end of the day, it comes with learning curves. You have to be willing to kind of like throw your pride to the side to learn more, get better, and accept what comes with it. We're not going to win every single game. We damn sure ain't going to lose every single game. I mean, we just kind of go from there. Right there, they made a great block after getting an ankle breaker. They knocked down a couple of threes, and I ain't gonna lie, this is kind of tough. This is a tough situation. You're down 6. You just gave up two threes. Momentum is out the way. Right here, I get a wide open shot, knock it down. But this is what I was saying throughout the game. Like, I had plays like that throughout the game that, looking back on it, I wish I was more willing to make plays like that because I think that makes me more dynamic of a player. Right there, they get the blow by, and we're just kind of consistently make plays. Now, the hard part is, as you see me take a pretty bad shot there, if you knock one down, it's kind of hard not to want to keep shooting, want to keep trying to get your team back in the game. And the 3 ball is what it is. It's the most overpowered thing in the game. It's the best thing you can utilize. And sometimes you just got to try to make plays. Right there, we get lucky. We get a foul call, get a chance to cut the lead down to 3. Now you got to come up with a stop. And discipline is at an all-time high. Obviously, I'm not trying to say we got to try to go for steals or anything like that, but we do have to try and force a miss right there. We get the miss, we don't get the rebound. And I ain't gonna lie, like that rebound, that steal, that block, that 3-pointer, like those are the key plays in the game which you're trying to make a difference. Watching these games back, I'm not saying I necessarily need another character to try to do what I'm trying to do, but I always just wonder if I did one or two things a little bit differently in the game, could I overturn the outcome? Right? I never look at it like, that one play cost us the game because you had the entire game to make up the difference. But I do sometimes wonder, like, if I had did this, had I did that, would that have helped overturn the outcome of the game? Unfortunately, I didn't do enough this game. Team played well. I thought this was a very good game. It was a fun game. And we just came up a little bit short at the end. At the end of the day, we played against a very tough team. And I'm happy with how we performed. So, with that being said, on to the next one, man. That's all we can really do. Anyway, it's been Lethal. Hope y'all enjoyed today's video. I know I've been talking the entire time, but if you're new, hit the like button, subscribe, and just keep enjoying the content. I'll be able to make funny videos soon.